we go. 3, 2, 1, go recap. So, our merry band of adventurers finally finished up achieving their objective in the Underdark. We managed to slay Corey and obtain the divine spark that we needed to get from him to be able to set Zeos back and make it so that he's not destroying the entire eastern coast of Alarath. Yay, save the dolphins and whales. That being said, after the fight, Relicanter decided to make an appearance. For whatever reason, the only thing that he kept saying on was speaking to Shiziki something about the fact that he couldn't see Shaz's future. Now, whatever that actually entails, we're not entirely certain. But the fight went on until Relicanter finally decided he'd made enough of an impact that he left a message after killing Philia and wounding the party, and then he teleported away. The party was able to successfully manage to revive Philia and bring her back. However, the impact was still made. After we left, Shaz actually disclosed to the party that he wanted to come clean, especially to Philia after everything she'd been through, and let everyone know that he'd recently come into light that he didn't know his heritage. He never knew his actual biological parents, and he thinks that there might be some divine heritage in his lineage, and that might actually be why Relicanter is not able to see his future, because he thinks he might be chosen to ascend to the divine. It's something that his patron had told him, but he doesn't know the full extent, nature of really anything of that situation. Velastrios wanted to investigate things further and decided to leave. Right before he left, Shiziki told him to also look into the Angel of Death. Afterward, they managed to scry various people, look into different areas, and one of the things that we scried into was looking at where Zarkariost, who's actually, if you remember right, Thelvorn's brother, or Thelvorn's uncle, Shalice's brother. He's one of the collectorate that decided to work with the Hands of Fate, but got his behind.
Oh yeah, he would be Thelvorn's
uncle.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep. It's all family. Which was actually, he was hiding in one of the towers, or standing in one of the towers of the camp that we went by earlier on. So we made our way back to that encampment where Shaz cast True Polymorphed and turned him into a hairpin that he is now wearing. It's a nice accentuation to his due.
You done that yet?
Yeah, we did that. We did that at the very end of the session.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like at the very end.
Very end. It was like, hey, I want to do this right quick before we end. Bloop. Okay. But as it stands, we have the Divine Spark. We have not seen the reaction that Zeos has made from that, whether he's still attacking the eastern coast or what's going on with him. But at this point, we should be trying to make our way back onto the main regiment of all the forces that were coming to attack the Illithid with us to find out the aftermath of this attack. And that's where we're at.
Right. So, over your shoulder, you hear psst, psst, like from off in the distance. Well, not really over your shoulder, but like, I see you're still alive.
Nobody
as you see
contact. Just ignore him, and he will go away.
As you see Drolacek stroll around the corner.
God damn it!
I will just continue fixing
Drolacek, how you doing?
In my hair. And hey, what's up, guys?
Doing all right. Heard quite a commotion from over in that general direction. You guys must have raised quite a ruckus.
Aaron's just gonna like dust off some brain matter and some blood off of his armor. It was nothing.
See. Well, as it appears now, the remaining Illithid appear to be routed. A few passed by. I think one maybe had noticed me, but they all seem to be heading in a singular direction.
Well, before we do that, Shiziki, I think we have some questions to ask a soul, do we not?
Brandon, can you do the same thing again? Move that mic slightly away.
I think we have some questions to
beautiful.
ask a soul.
You have what now to do with what?
Yeah,
we have some questions to ask a soul. You're not involved in this. Just
sit there
and be
quick,
quiet.
Guys.
I will
throw
reach
it to you real quick.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Hey, hey, we're throwing a T.
Yeah, throw a T real quick. Brandon, your mic is like right in front of your mouth or something. We're hearing a lot of like the air puffs when you make like the P's and the S's and stuff like that from you.
Is this better?
Yep, a lot better.
Significantly. Yeah, good job, man. That's right there.
Sorry, I'm using my work. I haven't found my other headset, so I'm using my
man,
work headset.
We'll let you
Just
know
like-
if it gets out of the way.
Yep.
Okay.
So I will reach into my bag and I will pull out Crithalisask's head that I collected, and I will be like, "Hey, Crithalisask, why are you such a bitch?" And then I will reach my hand up into his head and like puppet it and be like, "Because I have worms for lips." And I'll be like, "Yeah, you are." "Oh wait, that's not what you meant." And I'll put that back in my bag, and then I will reach over and take out the soul cage, and be like,
Drolicek says that's just gross.
No, it's funny. But
I will also
you know
then
what
cast
else?
prestidigitation on my
Where
hand
are-
that has like internal blood and guts from sticking my head in the skull and clean
You
that
know,
off.
You know,
It's
I
real
must point
pompous
out a
of a
strange.
Dwergard to call someone else gross.
Bro, that's
Sit
just
down here.
inappropriate.
Okay, children.
I've done nothing to you. I've done
Children.
nothing but help your group.
Children.
Aside from perhaps trying to steal from
Roll a
the
check.
Right. I would just like to
Shut
point
up.
out that why does that adventurer seem to have a propensity for collecting heads? I've never understood it. Anyway,
Alright, that's enough. We have
Yeah.
work to do.
So
Who just live by themselves in the mountain would never understand.
Dorian!
They just eat rats all day.
Shut up!
I mean, I do what I have to survive.
We have work to do. Can you two shut up? You're like children.
I was just gonna go back to fixating my hairpin, making sure like it looks totally fleek in my hair.
Yeah.
while they're
And what does your
figuring
hairpin look like?
it It actually looks like a chibi version of Zarko.
Oh, we have not reset our
Okay.
slots.
Nice.
I'm dying
Anime
over
reference.
here.
Okay,
I only have first level spells and 1 second left.
so
I'm just sitting over here with my hand on my head, just like, really?
yeah. Oh yeah. Aaron's just like rubbing his eyebrows. Can we get on with the questioning?
Well, sure, but what do we want to
Roll a
ask
check,
this
letters under-
thing?
I'm not even going to ask.
I have a question. And I'm pretty sure you have a few others, Suzuki.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Then let's get to the questioning.
Well, and I will kind of set the soul cage down in the middle of us. Like, if everybody wants to make a quick circle here, I can only ask it 4 questions. After that, it's done. So, if anyone has a vote, I'd like to ask it if he knows where the next divine spark might be.
So, real quick, does Elia have a braid in her hair? Or did,
That's a good question. I feel like I need to go in my notes.
Aaron has braids in his hair.
so Dorian's gonna see that everybody else has braids in their hair,
No.
and he's gonna sit in Shaz's circle, but the whole time he's just gonna start trying to re-braid his beard, and he's gonna try and get inspiration from the rest of his party members.
Yeah, I have no braids. FYI.
I have a military haircut, so it's not like.
You got,
I can
like,
fix that for you.
That's what I was saying. Like about to ask. You got high and tight.
Yeah, I got that high and tight.
He's not gonna
so-
ask for help, but he's definitely gonna be staring at everybody else.
intensely.
So,
I'm gonna look at Dorian and go, I'll help you fix that later, just hold on, we're busy.
now
Yeah,
that
I'm
you
busy
mention
too.
it, Shizuki actually has a semi-military haircut from being a mercenary, and all of a sudden you will just see like one braid of hair just grow out of his skull immediately on command, and that's what I will put my chibi hairpin in.
Alright. Well, I wanna ask why he chose Zeus.
Not a bad question. Anybody else has any votes?
Metagame! Those questions that Suzuki had put on is great. We'll just go with those.
All right.
Caw!
So I feel like trying to also find out why they were wanting to protect the Elder Brain when Relicanter was going to destroy it is also pretty good. And I'm pretty sure if we ask one question, it might cause us to have a follow-up question. So
Maybe we can figure it out.
So
Wait, what my question is Drelicancer with Zeus?
I don't think he is. He's pretty much said that he doesn't want to be with Zeus, but we could always find that out. I think.
Well,
that was why
that's a good
kind of
question.
played into it. Like I wanted to know what exactly is the relationship between the Illithid and the Hands of Fate, and I think that kind of.
That's what I was thinking too.
Kind of answers all that. So if we're good with that, I'll start with that. So I will.
All right, we'll start with that.
I will rub my hands together, and then I will start to clap, and I'll start to snap, and then I'll do finger guns at this thing. None of this is actually even necessary, but I'll do it anyway. And then I'll be like, Corey, I want to ask you a question. Fwacha! What exactly was the Illithid's relationship with the Hands of Fate?
Illithid existed for nothing more than information for them. It was of mutual benefit that they would supply us with the resources that we needed, while in turn giving them information back of the underworkings of the Underdark.
I'm sorry, wait, hold on. He said the Illithid were nothing, even though he is an Illithid? I'm asking, because this is to Corey, who is supposed to be... Okay.
He said the Illithid were nothing but basically information for them in exchange for supplies and resources. Was the gist of it.
So, I have a question.
Alright.
Why choose Zeus?
In the end.
Hold on. I have to ask it, just saying. It has to be
that's right. You do have to ask it.
You know, I should have just let him say it, that way we could have got a free question out of it.
I still would have counted it. But anyway.
But I will just repeat Aaron's question.
When the end day comes, Zeus will consume Ao and gain his powers of creation. It is on that day that the universe will be reborn, with the infinite empire at the height of its power.
Okay. So, if I was to surmise this, it sounds like these people have a deal with Zeus that, like, whenever he can create things like Eos does, they're basically going to be the forerunners of the new world. Like, that's my assumption out of this. So, that might be also why he wanted to keep the Elder Brain, because the Elder Brain can control other people and things like that, maybe? I don't know. So
I've answered that question.
Yeah, I'm just talking to the group here. So
We needed to ask him about the other divine sparks
here are the two
first.
things. Yeah, I wanted to say where are the other divine sparks, and also I was gonna ask, why did Zeus want the Elder Brain alive when he was planning on destroying the whole world, especially when Relicanter wanted to destroy the Elder Brain? So unless anybody has any other variation of those questions, that's what we're looking at.
Nope. That's it. I'm good with that.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's start off with the I think the more important of the two. Where specifically do you know where the other divine sparks are located at?
There is only one remaining fragment of Zeus's spark. It is currently in the hands of a young woman, a fire genasi, residing in a pyramid off of the southern coast on an island off of the southern coast of the Taraski Desert. I know not her exact location.
Hey, Phoenix.
Yeah.
This is your home. This is your hometown.
That's
Where's
my
the pyramid?
domain.
Where's the pyramids?
So, you would know that pyramids are scattered all over the Taraski Desert.
Yeah.
But as far as a pyramid located off of this, on an island off of the southern coast of the Taraski Desert, you wouldn't really know.
So I guess I guess that means we go to Brass City.
Yes, it does.
Let me throw this around. With my history with Fire Ganassi, have I happened to have heard of any story, myth, anything of this type of person? And this is referring back to my time well spent at the Tresmadella.
So, there is one. Well, you know what? I'll let you make a history check for this one. I'll give you advantage since it is kind of from your home turf.
So, I have proficiency in religion. Do I know anything about these pyramids in the Taraski Desert?
What's that?
Do I know anything about the pyramids in the desert?
Just that they're prehistoric. They once belonged to the Sun Elves, but they've since fallen into disuse. That's all the information I'm giving you without a good history check. But
There's a religion check, but I have a history check. Blah. Huh, well, okay.
I got an 18 for history.
okay, so
And I got 19. Yeah, boy.
I'll go ahead and just answer 2 questions with these rolls. One is pertaining to the Fire Ganassi, and the other one is pertaining to the Sun Elves. So it was once sort of traditional in the early age of magic, before the Sun Elves basically started going about another way of burying the dead, which is essentially involves sort of plane shifting someone's body to the outer realms. But prior to that, they would be embalmed and stored in these pyramids. The pyramids have fallen into disuse, and all they ever were used for was to store bodies. And it's because in the desert, they don't want to just, you can't just bury bodies in sand. I mean, you could, but they don't want to do that. And with how ever shifting the sands are, they wanted a more stable place to store their dead. And so they used these pyramids, which haven't been used for thousands of years for that purpose. But they have fallen into use for other things, some very clandestine. Sometimes a pyramid might be used as a drug den. Sometimes a secret organization, or just any sort of organization might sort of hijack one of these pyramids as their base. Sometimes people squat in these pyramids. They're not exactly... The seals haven't held up with the years, so they're not too terribly difficult to gain entry to. As far as the other question, this is pertaining to the question that Shiziki asked. There is a legend among the Fire Ganassi that periodically throughout the ages, it's not any particular number of years, it can be every 50, every 100, maybe even more, that a legendary warrior is born, typically male. In fact, up until now, all you know of is that this legendary warrior has been male, but it's essentially a Fire Ganassi who's born with a greater affinity for flame as well as greater physical strength. But it's very rare, and many people live through their entire lifetimes with not a single one of these Fire Ganassi being born. But they're typically destined for great things, destined to be powerful warriors or great diplomats, to make some sort of great positive change in the world. But that's really the only legend that you would be familiar with, at least pertaining to the Fire Ganassi.
Wouldn't Nick know that legend as well?
I would say he would know that too, just based on his background. I wouldn't even make him roll for that.
Interesting. Okay. Well, again, do we want to do a follow-up question of that? Like, do we know a name for this person, or weaknesses they might have, or anything like that? Or do we want to stick to the tried and true of what we had already kind of established before?
I think we'll go with the tried and true for now. I mean, he did say he didn't know much more else.
Alright. Then I'll stick with that. This will be the last question. After this, the soul is released. That's all I can do with it, so. I will bend over and look at the soul cage one more time. Do my finger guns at it. Corey, Why did Zeus want the Elder Brain alive when he's planning on destroying the whole world? Especially when Relicanter, who doesn't work with you, wanted to destroy it.
Believe Relicanter attacked the Elder Brain because he intended to go back on our deal. As far as Zeus, the Elder Brain was to be the progenitor of a new army of Illithid upon the reformation of the universe.
Cool, creepy but cool. And that's all I have for the hold on the soul.
That's all, folks.
I instantly grab the soul as soon as it comes out, and I want to imagine like I just reach out, and as Corey's soul starts to fade away from the soul cage, I just grab him by the throat with one hand,
Not today, bitch.
and then Dorian's eyes will go completely black, and he'll just say, "Under the power of Killenvor, I judge thee." And then I crush his throat, and then his soul dissipates.
Now, would you like his soul to go to just wherever it's going to go, or do you have a specific destination in mind?
So I get to. So the way that the Boon of the Threshold Guardian works is it just says if the creature is. So you tell me if he's of a neutral alignment or evil, and then I get to. I mean, I don't know how.
He's evil.
Yeah,
but
okay.
I'm saying just for now, because he's evil, you can pick which lower plane you want to send him to if you want to, whether it's the Abyss, the Nine Hells, Carceri.
What's Carceri?
That is the neutral evil prison plane. Basically, you will be basically the worst treated prisoner in all of existence. You will be spending your entire days locked behind bars and tortured on a daily basis to only once again be locked behind bars.
What? That sounds like a sweet vacation. I'll send him to you.
You're sending him to Carceri?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
Seeing this happen, and
I take offense to that. I'm in Florida. Thank you very much.
so watching this happen, hey Dorian, can I ask you a question? Well, two questions actually. One, could you please never, ever, 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 ever do that to me if I die? Two, I know Velastro sent somebody to another plane. I don't know if that's similar to what you do with your judging thing, but do you know what the plane of... What was it that Velastro sent him to? Plane of Dread?
Yeah, the plane of dread.
Can you tell me what exactly that entails if we sent the Elder Brain to there?
Gavin.
Because of your affiliation with Kellamvor, you would know.
So I know what the plane of dread is. What Velastro knows what the plane of dread is. As Dorian with his religion.
I'm gonna say because of your background and your affiliation with Kellamvor, considering the plane of dread is sort of the antithesis of everything Kellamvor stands for, yeah, you'd probably know.
It's the giant dildo of what he knows?
Let me ask you
Yes.
this, Gavin, real quick, because there's technically in D&D lore there's two different planes of dreads. There's one that's ruled by Count Strahd von Zarovich, and then there's also one ruled by Vecna. I assume that you used the plane of dread ruled by Vecna.
Yeah, I definitely use the latter. The other one doesn't exist.
Okay. Alright. We'll call that the plane of Barovia.
Or the plane of nothing, because it doesn't exist in my continuity.
Alright, fine. Okay. Yeah, whatever. Well, Shiziki, Can you please ask me that question one more time?
So I happen to notice Velastro sent the Elder Brain to another plane And despite whatever it was he told us that he sent him to the plane of dread. And to be honest, I'm just curious of what that actually meant. I don't know the plane of dread and what it entails to send somebody there.
Okay. The plane of dread. Yes. So.
I'm sorry, do you need to spit out your tobacco to start this story?
It's.
Hey, Gavin.
It's hard to swallow.
Hold on one sec.
Yes, that's why you spit out the tobacco before you start a story.
You can see that when you mention the plane of dread, Dorian gets immediately upset. Now,
just wait until he finds out he's got the Eye of Vecna. No, I don't say that. I'd never say that.
Shiziki, think about. Hold on, I'm getting his accent all kinds of fucked up.
Yeah, you're going straight southern, dude.
This is not Monster of the Week.
The plane's got all these skeeters, and the football team's always down by 12 points.
I'm sorry, dude. Okay, look, I've been
That goddamn plane of dread.
Natty Ice is always warm.
I've had like 3 IPAs, and they're all 10% ABV. Okay, so hold on.
Transmission's always shot on my Jeep.
So while he gets his shit together, Gavin, do I need to roll to fix my arm at disadvantage if Solomon's holding it?
Yeah, still. The Cowboys never win the Super Bowl.
Shiziki, think about the
Hold
worst nightmare you've ever had. The worst of the worst.
Yeah, a
And then-
specific moment comes back to me.
Yeah. How much do you know about Vecna?
I kind of got my crash course on that with you back in Sea Shroud.
Right. Now, with Vecna, he's the worst. He's truly the worst. And with Vecna, he controls the plane of dread. And it's just a nightmare hellscape. We tell it to our young'uns and the little ones at the church. And it's just the worst imaginable plane you could ever be in. You imagine a world like ours, but everything's dead. No sun, everything's just cold, the trees are dead, everything's a marshland, and there is nothing living. Your soul and your life force is sapped out of you by the plane itself. Everywhere you go, you feel like someone is always watching you, and it is just, shivers up my spine thinking about it. It is not a place anyone should ever go to. I would rather sentence someone. Gavin, what was that plane again?
Carceri.
I'd rather sentence someone to Carceri 1,000 lifetimes over than one day in the plane of dread.
Let me ask you this, since we're on the topic of Vecna, Dorian. What would happen, theoretically, if somebody kept one of the relics of Vecna? I know we dealt with Valdonis when he had the hand for a short duration, but what if somebody kept it for a long time? Or what if they even managed to have the eye and the hand?
Well, the way the story goes is, if you have the eye and you have the hand, then you can essentially control the force of Vecna on the material plane, but Vecna takes a piece of your soul. So if you have one or the other, I guess the amplification of Vecna's persuasion over you is significantly lowered with one piece or the other, but with both, he's a part of you at that point. Well, that's how the story goes, anyways.
Well, it's a good thing that we made sure one of those pieces is locked away. So.
Oh, absolutely. They could. Do not get it twisted, Shiziki. Vecna is pure evil.
Oh, I completely understand. I wouldn't have thought otherwise. I saw what happened to Sea Shroud and what they did to my people.
No, that is nothing. That's a cult. You don't understand. You haven't read the books. You haven't read the lore and been told the stories. Vecna is evil. What they did was evil deeds. He is evil.
Understand something, Dorian. Those might have been evil deeds, but that's enough for me. No amount of persuasion, no amount of bribery could have ever forgiven Valdonis for what he did to me. So, whether they're slightly evil or extraordinarily evil, what they did is unforgivable to me.
One more thing. The plane of dread has not always been there. The plane of dread is a prison in itself. Vecna became so powerful he rivaled all the gods. They had to band together and basically banish him into a plane that they formed around, like your soul cage banishes people for an extended period of time. That is what the plane of dread is. It is Vecna's prison. He has to be there. Now I know that some of you were talking about what's her face over in that one plane of the Outlands or whatever her name is. Can't think of it off the top of my head. I know y'all just said it, but
Are you asking me? Because I could just tell you since you just heard it.
The lady
well,
of the
I mean,
pain?
yeah. Well, no, I know. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Now,
this is what Shaz says.
Yeah, that's the one. The way the story goes is Vecna became so powerful, he went to the Outer Lands, and he battled her toe for toe. And if it wasn't for the other gods to come in and send Vecna to the Plane of Dread, he would have conquered the Outlands, conquered all the deities, controlled all the realms. I'm telling you, there is nothing good about that person. Or that deity. Well, I guess now he's a god, so... But is he really a god? Because he was a mortal, and then he became a demigod, then he became a god, and then he went off to do... evil, Shizuki. Just pure evil.
Actually, at this point, Azrael speaks up and says, "Now, that is a tremendous amount of power to be able to rival an Eternal within their home domain."
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't write the history books, I'm just a scholar. So
why don't we do the same thing to Zeus? Banish him to another dimension.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know what? Let me just go knock on that heavenly door of theirs and just say, hey, man, you know what? Banishment. Like, you think my powers of banishment can banish a god? I was given these powers by a god.
Yeah, I think that's maybe possibly what we're trying to reenact. I mean, during the ancient times of the war between Zeus and Eos, that's essentially what happened. Zeus was banished to the far realms, and now he's making his debut back. So
Now, I know this sounds a little exasperated, and the numbers always change. Like, one time I heard it was 100,000, then I heard it was 1,000,000, then I heard it was 100 million. Nobody really knows. But the way Vecna became a god was literally absorbing the essence of hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people all at one time. But, like I said, number changes every time I hear the story.
I hate to cut the sob story short, but I have an issue.
With?
By the way, can I just say, during this entire time, we've been walking, like, making our
Yeah,
way
I
back
assumed
to
you're
the
walking and
mounts.
talking.
Okay, cool. That's all I want to say.
So I've been trying to fix my arm, but the toolkit that I have isn't gonna suffice.
What kind of toolkit do you need?
Not the toolkit that you can provide me. I'm gonna need more mechanical assistance.
Well, if we can get back to the camp, I'm sure everybody from Yeardale, the Noma Shitty.
Yeah,
sure-
I'm
Like,
gonna.
your
sure-
arm is shot. Like, it needs new wires
Yeah,
and
I'm pretty sure
everything.
if we
You
can
gotta
get
take
back
it
to
apart
them,
and basically
you
put it
can
back
probably
together.
get all your shit fixed up. Considering
Yeah,
that's like where all the engineers are.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna need their help. So, the faster we get out of here, the better.
Well, I'm all for moving along as fast as we can, especially since we have a ranger in his favorite domain to try and
Yeah.
make it back. I don't know if we're gonna have to spend the night to make it back here, or what the deal.
Do I know if we're gonna need to spend the night, or can we just truck on through?
You're gonna... Even moving at a quick pace, it took you days to get to where you are right now. Moving quickly without any confrontation, it's still gonna take you at least a day.
Yeah, it's gonna take us a day, so we're gonna have to move as much as we can, then rest,
That's
and then
moving
go
at
again.
a quick pace, not a moderate pace.
Yeah, we're gonna have to move quickly.
Okay. Well,
You know, Shiziki, while we're on the subject, I have not been 100% with all of you. And I just want to make this clear that this doesn't change anything about our friendships with me and Philia, Aaron, any of you other two dweebs over there, as he points to Phoenix and Azrael. My name is not Dorian Stormbringer. Well, it is, but it's not. My name is Dorian Dawnaxe.
all right.
You guys remember where you've heard that name before?
Nope.
Nope.
That's
Well,
that's
I
one of the
immediately-
king's names or something, isn't it?
I immediately see the confusion in their faces, and I just sigh. King of Stormhound, when
Yeah,
King,
it's one of the
like the
kings. I
Dwarven
was right.
King, the Great Dwarven King.
Yeah.
of Storm. Yeah. You know what? Anyway, he just keeps walking. Never mind. Forget it. Don't even pay attention.
So your father's the king of the dwarves, huh?
Well, it's not known. I mean, outside of myself, 2 other people know, and then now you 4 know. 5. I keep forgetting about that freaky weirdo over there. And he points to Azrael again.
Azrael just takes a bow.
Well, your secret is safe with me, Dorian.
I mean, it doesn't
Stormbringer.
matter. I mean, it's one of those things where it's complicated. As a child, I was given to the church, and the church stripped me of my title, and that's what I'm doing. I'm on a pilgrimage to figure out, do I want to stay with the church, or should I go back to my family? They're not really my family. My family is the church, but at the same time, I'm a dwarf. We have blood. And there's an old dwarf saying that... never mind. He just goes solemn and stares off pensively into the distance as they keep walking.
Aaron's gonna walk over to Dorian, throw his one good arm over his shoulder, pat him on the chest, and go, "I understand family," as he walks to lead the group.
I will. Yeah, I'll do kind of the same thing. And look, Dorian, I think we all have issues, and I don't want to steal from your moment here. And honestly, I'm really glad after all this time that you could tell me this. To be honest, this isn't even the form that I grew up in. And I'll look back over at Phoenix, and I'm like, look, I like you, and I know we just talked about me helping you comes at a cost. Keep your mouth shut, and I'll reduce that cost.
Oh, what about the other weirdo?
Yeah, I gotcha.
As he points to
Yeah,
Asriel
in
again.
final form, yeah, ha, ha, ha. And I will start to shift my features around a little bit in an unfamiliar way, and then I'll just go back to what I had. And just, to be honest, I put on this disguise so long ago, I'm not even sure if I remember what it was that I grew up as. I didn't know I was a changeling until I was a teenager. I didn't. Changeling, by the way, Phoenix, that's what this whole thing was. Changelings. We exist. Learn something new every day, huh? So...
And Phoenix, they've pretty much been like an urban legend to you up until this point. Like, you've heard tales of them, but it's the kind of thing where the majority of people have heard stories of them, but don't actually think they really exist.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, was it actually a myth, or was it just something in a Dr. Seuss book at some point in time, you know? But, yeah, I don't want to get into the whole thing of it, but I got run out of town. Because of where I grew up. They thought I was a demon. They killed my parents. I left and had to be on the run and start over all from the beginning. So, I'm not trying to take away from what you're telling me. I'm just trying to say I can empathize. And I appreciate you sharing that with me.
Growing up, the only thing that I had close to family was Karzar and Duncan. And then, so the Dwarven saying is the strongest bond is the bond of blood. And that's what really tears me, is, like I said before, I'm a dwarf, so I have to be with my blood. Some of y'all might not understand. King Rorik out there, with his entire Dwarven army, every dwarf will give his life for their king, because he is the king. And it's not, I feel like I have a duty, but at the same time, I've been a part of the church my whole life, and I have a duty there. I don't know. I guess
Dorian.
Duncan is trying to make me his predecessor whenever he goes on, or I don't know.
For somebody that doesn't know their family well, or their past life very well, blood is blood, and I would choose my blood over almost anything. Family is family. Y'all here are the closest thing I've ever had to family.
You know, as a joke, we called church a dwarfenage. You know, like an orphanage for dwarfs. You know, it's funny when you a dwarfenage, but you know, it's
Background that my character's at. I'm within earshot, I imagine. And
Oh yeah, I mean, you're right there.
I just start giggling at Aaron. His family's family. I start giggling. Family's overrated.
yeah. What about your family, Ophelia?
And they can be easily replaced.
This is family. We may not be blood, we may not all be dwarves, but we are blood enough. We have bled with each other. We have fought with each other. We have fought for each other.
Yes.
And some
Family
against
is
each
who
other.
you make.
By the way, I say speak for yourself, and then I turn into a dwarf.
There you go.
Shut up, Shaziki. And I'm gonna kind of look over at Phoenix and go, if you want to join us, I'm sure these others won't necessarily gripe about it. But this is a family you can join.
Look, I'm okay with
Too
the
late
fiery
now. He's
one.
already part of us now.
I'm okay with the fiery one, but the blonde one really freaks me out. He's always fucking smiling. He just.
I apologize. I suppose I can apologize for having a fiery spirit, but that is just my way.
I can see him being the Ayo.
Like,
There's never a reason to not be jovial.
He'll
Even
grow
in the
on you.
heat of battle, you can lose yourself in the adrenaline.
I mean, it's like none of us are talking to him, but he's still talking.
Mm.
I'm going
Anti-mage.
to apologize for who I am.
Anti-mage. You're cool. It's great. You helped us. The question is can you help us get the fuck out of here quicker?
Wish you'd said so sooner. Well, yes, I can.
Actually, no, he can't. He has like no spell slots left.
Oh, really?
Like, no.
No, I'm gonna pull out.
He has
I'm gonna
Arcane
pull out.
Recovery still available, but his highest spell slot available that he has right now is a level 5.
I'm gonna pull out a potion of superior mana. Can anybody get us out? Anybody need this to get us out? Can we get out? Does anybody need this? Superior mana. Going once. Going twice.
Could use
Somebody.
that. Get us out of here.
Alright, here you go. Drink it. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Alright,
Take me to the front lines.
Actually, if I might make a suggestion, we can just go back to where we left the mounts and then cast the spell on the yellow stone, and we should be back with everybody else. Because I'm all tore up about what's happening with Gibbles.
Fucking Gibbles. Leave Gibbles alone.
Is that your raptor?
That is my raptor.
That is probably eating the other horses.
Fuck yeah, he's a champ. He ain't gonna die. Can I make a persuasion roll
where you
to
would like to
Azrael
go?
about going back to where the mounts are? Because that's what I want to do.
Sure. Yeah, make a persuasion check.
Alright, well, I want to persuade him to send me to. I want to intimidate him to send me to the front lines. I will get in his face about it.
Okay, we'll see if you can beat a 34, Dorian.
As he's trying to like jump up in his face, just like getting it.
So Azrael is not a dwarf, right? Because I have advantage
he is
on
not.
charisma checks for dwarves.
He is a sun elf.
But is he religious? Because I also have advantage against religion. God damn
You
it.
would gather that Azrael is about as unreligious as they
Alright,
come.
fine.
As he's just trying to like.
to the front lines.
No offense, Dorian, but I think I'll listen to my my compatriot here as he taps his staff. He downs the potion, which I guess I'll roll for.
Before
It's
he
a
casts
superior.
the spell, me and him are gonna do that super awesome handshake that we worked out. Which, by the way, looks dope as shit with the 21.
Yeah, it does. You guys nail that handshake, and it's complicated. You guys have a hard time even following the movements.
Oh yeah?
But
Yeah, is it like a predator handshake?
I mean, what kind of handshake is it, Shiziki?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It starts off like a Susie had a steamboat, but then like all of a sudden we like start popping and locking and everything. We do some toe tap COVID style. Like, I mean, it just starts flaring and it builds. Like, this thing is like one of those. It's like obnoxiously long because at first you're like, man, that's cool for them. Okay, when's it gonna end? No, seriously, when's it gonna end? Like,
It's
Jesus,
like
how much spare time did they have to actually work this out? When's it gonna end?
if anybody has seen Grown Ups 2, it's like those teenagers doing the little handshake off of Grown Ups 2. The college prep kids.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're just sitting there.
So he teleports you all, and you immediately see in front of you. How many horses were there?
I think one for each of us, except for
Yeah,
me.
so there would have been 5 horses. Yeah, there's 5 bodies that are mostly eaten and mutilated. Many down to the bone. Some just with giant chunks out of their side. The horses got eaten, is where I'm going with this.
I will revert back to my typical form of a half drow, and Gibbles, Gibbles, here boy,
He runs out from around the corner with one of the kuotas in his mouth. Well, what's left of it in his mouth, one of the fish people, and just looks around.
Oh, that's a good
Like,
boy. That's
real
a good
twitchy
boy.
head.
Give him some good scritches and whatnot, and then I mount up. Well, let's get to it, shall we, folks?
Dorian will put his fingers in his mouth and do one of those insanely loud dad whistles, and call Philip McCrotch.
Okay.
Aaron's gonna mount Solomon.
Yeah. So, funny thing, Shiziki, as soon as you mount him, suddenly you just feel like his head tense up, and after about 2 seconds, you hear like a splattery noise as you notice he just suddenly just like cracked into the head of this thing, as blood just goes everywhere.
Wait, did this thing just die?
It's probably.
I will use the soul
was-
stone to absorb a soul.
Okay. Yeah. You got one charge.
Thank you. And then I will cast Prestidigitation on myself, not the raptor, because the raptor looks badass, covered in blood and guts, but just on myself to make myself all pristine, and then I will activate the Cloak of Billowing and be like, let us charge on, my friends.
I go look over at the horses, and I look over. I'm like, your fucking ride along ate all the horses.
He's a grown boy, what you expect?
We don't have any spell slots to get us where we need to go. What would you like to do with this?
Well, I'll look at the yellow stone that we needed to cast a spell on, right? And then I will cast a random fucking ass spell on it. Oh, I don't know what spells
So
I got
Gavin,
for on a stone.
do I see Philip anywhere? Because as long as he's within 1 mile, I can summon him back to me, or telepathically communicate with him.
It takes a few minutes, but you eventually hear sort of a trampling noise as a large griffin rounds the corner.
Oh, I forgot to mention this. I did change out 2 of my spells as a warlock, so if you need me to
Okay.
like put that in there, I'll put it in there. But just so you know, I swapped out 2 of my spells.
All right.
One is a cantrip. I no longer have Magic Stone. I will have Mind Sliver, and then 2 Cone of Cold. I'll have Flock of Familiars.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I did. But seeing the yellow stone thing that we have, I will.
You're talking about the stone you had to cast a spell on to open up the secret entrance?
Yeah.
Okay.
That we had. I will cast. Fuck, I don't even have something that can really target anything that well on it. You know what? I'll cast Minor Illusion on the stone and make the stone look like a dancing leprechaun. I don't fucking know. Sure.
Yeah, it looks like a halfling with red hair and a red beard, wearing all
Yeah, it
green
looks
and a
like
large
Turd
green
Burglar.
top hat.
Twerking.
Yeah, oh, it's twerking. Okay. Yeah, it's twerking. It's getting into it. And the door looks like it's open.
There we go. Onward, Jibbles.
Hey,
To
how
glory.
does the piece of shit Dwergar look?
Fine. I mean, gross as hell and dirty, but fine.
I'll look back to the dwerg, or what's his face.
This-
Fucking-
Let me remind you that this was part of our deal.
What was the deal? What did we make the deal?
That
get him
you
outta
would
here?
let me leave the Underdark.
Oh yeah. Well, you're more than welcome to leave, but if you want to, you could just claim all the glory and said you wiped out the Illithid. And if you go back
Alright,
to town, I'm
alright.
sure they'll let you back in. Or follow us.
What are your trade skills?
Hunting and gathering, primarily.
Rurik Nonax. There it is. That's his name as his father.
What can
I'm sorry. I found it in my notes.
you do?
I'm a decent shot. And I know how to hunt things. I know how to track things.
Can you?
You don't have to talk to
Or-
me like I'm fucking stupid, okay? I'm a dwarf, same as you.
Dorian leans over to Shizuki. These Dwergar, they're all emotional. Filthy creatures.
You know what? I bet he cries ugly.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Dwergar, you have an option. You can leave and get killed somewhere else, or you can stay with us and you won't get killed.
I just wanted to make my way on the surface.
That's the two things that I'm telling you. You stay with us, you stay protected. You run off, you're on your own.
I look over at him. I'm like, he doesn't seem like much of a fighter. Do you really think he can hold his own?
Oh fuck no, he's a Dwergar. He can't hold his own for shit. He eats
Managed to
fucking rats.
survive on my own for 20
You eat
years.
fucking rats.
Only if I have to. I can
When
get
was the last time you had a
by
shower?
on my
When
own.
was the last time you had a shower?
I look over. Do you think he's gonna become a dumpster diver?
Yeah, most definitely.
He looks at you with a raised eyebrow and says, "Shower?"
I said, dumpster diver.
Yeah, but Dorian said shower.
Oh.
The point is, I've survived on my own for 20 years. I believe I
What
can manage it on the surface.
was this guy's name? Shit, hold on, let me look at my notes. What was this guy's name?
I don't know,
Drolachek
matters.
Ebenforge.
Drolachek.
Mr. Ebenforge. Let me ask you something. And looking at Bessie there, how well are you at tending to animals?
But I have Bessie here. I can handle animals pretty well.
What about something like old Gibbles here? And I'll give him a pat on the back here, a pat on the side, whatever.
The dinosaur with its head exploded?
The dinosaur's head didn't explode. It bit into the Kuota, and that head exploded.
Oh, okay.
Dinosaur that has 0.
The murderous dinosaur with the beady eyes looking at him? Yes. How well do you think you could handle something like this?
In response to that, he reaches into his pack, pulls out a piece of dried meat, and just starts making like a series of clicking noises, like as he approaches Gibbles. As he gets closer, Gibbles starts looking a little agitated, but leans forward and gives him a bit of a sniff. He holds the piece of dried meat up, which Gibbles then eats, and he pats it on the head. Think I could do just fine.
Perfect. I might have some steady work for you then.
Be careful. He might eat your spider. Just saying.
Bessie
Also
can fend
possible.
herself. I wouldn't advise it, though. She's highly venomous.
Well, he's only been alive for like 2 days, so he probably doesn't know that yet.
Alright, y'all. Look, this is enough wasting time, okay? Look. Drola Dwergar, whatever the fuck his name is, he can stay here. I don't care. We need to get to the front lines.
Well, I could teleport you there if you would like. But as he looks through the open door and sees a series of troops marching, I believe that will no longer be necessary.
Oh yeah, I already said move on, Cherry Fourth or whatever. So I'm moving in that direction on Gibbles.
The moment
Okay.
Dorian sees... Does he see troops of the church?
After a time, yes.
The moment he sees them, he immediately takes off for Philip to go look for the king.
Okay.
And Duncan.
So when you see King Rurik, he's carrying a very large battle axe over his shoulder, and a tower shield in the other arm. He's got some pretty beastly weapons that he's carrying with himself right now. You see that he has like trickles of blood and guts that have caked onto his armor. His weapon is in desperate need of being cleaned, but he seems pretty unscathed.
The moment I see King Rurik, I will jump off of Philip and fly through the sky, screaming, "My king!" And the moment I'm about to hit the ground, probably 50, 60 feet away, I will misty step in front of him. Or 30 feet away, I'll just misty step in front of him.
He looks and says, "Dorian, I'm so glad to see that you are safe. Now I assume, seeing as how The illithid turned and ran like cowards, almost suddenly. I assume that means you have routed your foe.
I immediately drop
never
to my
had
knee
any
and
doubt.
bow.
He puts a hand on your shoulder. I never had any doubt, Dorian. Never a bit.
Well, we defeated a couple foes. One ran away.
And who might that have been that escaped?
We'll speak on it later, my king. Until then, I think we need to get with Duncan and speak to the rest of my party.
Duncan, he had a bit of a close call, but he's all right. You'll find him near the
Dorian is
back.
immediately worried and takes off running. Forgive me, my king. I must leave. And takes off.
All right. You, when you arrive at the back, you see a cart. And actually, you see quite a few of the carts are stacked pretty high with bodies. And at first, you start getting a little worried. But then you see Duncan laying on a cart. He's sitting up, and he's actually completely out of his armor. He's just wearing like the regular style tunic that you would wear under his armor, with a large bandage around his abdomen, a big gash across his chest that's also been bandaged. And he looks up and with a painful tone says, use some caution, Dorian, in approaching me. I think I might have a few broken ribs.
I climb up to the cart and sit beside him.
I'm glad you're alive, Dorian.
Well, I mean, I could probably say the same to you, but... And then he does like a, cross across his head, chest, and he's like, I don't want to lie. He's like, you're old, and you went in a fight, and nothing's better than the death of a warrior.
Oh, you should have seen them. I routed just 100 by myself. It took nearly their entire army to harm me like this. I feel like I could have taken them on all by myself.
Duncan, I still have some healing abilities left. Would you like some, or would you like me to spread it across the rest?
Side note,
Worry about
comma,
the other troops.
You should have all your healing abilities back, because we got to rest in between getting here, right?
Mm-mm.
No, you would have gotten a long rest to... Well, no, you teleported, so no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I only
never mind.
have 45 points of lay on hand, and I have 4 cure wounds at level 1.
No, Dorian, I'm not gonna lie to you. We've taken some heavy losses from this battle. We haven't come to a final count yet, but I would estimate that we lost roughly 30% of our troops across the board.
It's all bad. 30%, 1%, 1 member. It's all bad. But it comes with the job, I guess.
Does. And at least the majority of these men will live to see the next day. Will live to where they no longer have to be in fear of the coming dawn.
Dorian says quite loudly, assuming a certain someone can hear. He speaks out and goes, well, I hope that Karzar piece of shit finally did some good deeds today.
Like, and you bet your arse I did. As he approaches you and says, the reason why I haven't healed our good leader here is because I've sort of exhausted all my abilities. But you'd still look like the same sorry sack of shit as ever. Maybe if you'd gotten wounded a bit more, it might have suited you.
Dorian clearly has no wounds upon him. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to pick up all your slack. And then he pats Duncan on the back for 20 points of lay on hands.
When you do, you notice some of the blood from the blood-stained bandages sort of fades. And Duncan looks a lot better. He peels the bandage off. You notice what appears to have once been an open wound, now just sort of left a scar. It's like, another one to tell a tale.
Duncan, I come to you with grave news. We must hold a war council immediately. I've already informed the king. But until then, and I hop off the cart and let him go by, I'm gonna heal the wounded where I can. Karzar, point me in the direction. I still have a bunch of healing left. And Dorian will try to do his best to spread out the wealth of the rest of his 25 points to lay on hands and 4 cure wounds as much as he can.
So one thing that you do notice, and this catches your eye, you see the cart, or one of the carts with bodies on it, and you remember the 2 individuals that sort of pointed out that Rowan was like the weakest one? Yeah, they're both dead.
What about Rowan?
You haven't really seen him yet. It takes some searching, but you find him, and he definitely appears wounded, but not nearly to the degree that, many people were. He walking with a bit of a limp, and he sees you and he calls out and says, Dorian! As he holds this axe up and sort of shakes it around, like almost like showing off that there's blood on it. He's like, this saved my life. I will tell you, this saved my life. I would be dead were it not for this axe. See, what happened is they rolled a barrel of pitch, and, well, I sort of lost my balance, and I sort of tripped over the barrel. Well, it continued to careen past me, bouncing off a wall, but I didn't notice that I had tapped it with the axe, and it had been set ablaze. For it continued to roll further down the hill. It killed, probably 100 Illithid. At least 100. Just by me having this axe. You, my friend, literally lit the fire of their destruction.
What pantheon does this guy worship? Because I know the church has many different paladins and stuff that worship different pantheons.
The Dawn Father.
I put a hand on his shoulder and I say, I did nothing. I just gave you a tool. And Pelor guided the tool. It was all you and your faith in Pelor that led you to your victory today. And then I'll point at the cart with the other 2 soldiers that were there that were kind of mocking him. They're like, but never forget. Never forget this moment. This is not a victory. From this moment on, we mourn.
Many of our brethren have been killed. Believe me, I understand that. I watched many of them be cut down with my own eyes. It was terrible. I don't think I'll ever forget it.
You're underneath Zerg, aren't you?
I am.
Where is he?
Closer towards the front.
Oh, shit. This came from the front. God damn it. I'm tired. Dorian will take off back towards the front. First round's on you, he screams to Rowan as he takes off back towards the front.
So, I don't want to step on none of your toes here, but Shiziki...
No, you're good.
Okay. During this entire time frame, I'm going to look to see if there's any prisoners of war kind of being dragged along or anything like that.
What's that?
I'll just tell you right now, you don't find any prisoners of war. Anybody they came in contact with, they killed.
I don't want to be a dick, but I'm going to be a dick because I'm a dick. I will look... I will just ride around on my raptor. By the way, I will go back and change my outfit to the astounding emerald green ball dress that I had before when we were running out here.
You catch a lot of glances.
Fuck that. Okay, and I will also make sure I have my cloak of billowing active the entire time. And I will look at the people that are laughing at me, and then I will especially look at the people that are laughing at me that are dying from the war. And anybody that happens to fall and die along the way, I suck up their soul in the soul stone.
I will say this: as you're riding past, you hear some person say, "Well, that's just rude. It's not up to us to mock him for his sexual preference."
It's not a sexual preference, I just look good.
You're looking very fine today, my lady.
I will say this, I don't want anybody to fucking realize I'm sucking up their people's souls, so it's all super stealthy. But, yeah, if there's anybody dying from this, I'll put their souls to good use and put it in the soul stone, so you can let me know how many souls, if any, I get from that.
I explained with the soul stone that you're not actually like absorbing their souls, you're just kind of draining energy from it.
Yeah,
So like their soul is still whole, it still passes on or whatever, it's just weakened for a time.
Yeah, well, it's basically, all I know is when they die, if I don't kill them, I can use my reaction to pull them in. That's all I get from the actual, like, written verbiage.
Yeah. I mean, if that's what you're doing, I'll just say it's not going to be hard for you to completely fill it.
By the way, again, I only pull from the people that were laughing at my outfit before they died. That's what you get. That's what you get. Respect the fleek outfit.
I'm going to go and say there would be no way for you to find, that needle in the haystack, because there's a lot of bodies. But I'll say you were able to find one of the people that had mocked you before.
Perfect. Soulstone recharged! And that's what I do. And then after that, I will kind of mosey on back, and again, just keep out the arcane eye, and I'll float it out in front of us. And then I will actually hang back tight and hang it with, what's his face? Azrael and Eberron Dralachek, whatever his face is. Dralachek Ebenforge. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's everybody else up to?
Me and those other two are going to be hanging out.
Okay. What's everybody else up to?
I'm just kind of looking into the crowd.
Aaron's gonna go look for the Gnomish King.
Yeah, that would be... Where do I have his name written down? What was his name? I have it written down somewhere.
I was giving my wife a foot rub. I can tell you. Hold on. You have to flip through shit. King Galatan Mechadrone.
Yep, Galaton Mechadrome.
Galatan, that's what
yes,
I wrote it down as. That's what it is.
So, you see a lot of these gnomish troops seem to be carrying, like, mechanical parts from various constructs that were destroyed, from their walkers, from these mechanical suits that many of them went into battle in, just whatever it is that they could scavenge. As well as, again, some gnomish bodies that are on some carts, and some being carried by other soldiers. He doesn't look too happy, but he looks and says, "Oh, Aaron, it's a good thing to see that you are alive.
You as well."
I can't say much. I can't say the same for many of my fellow comrades."
And Aaron has his cloak, his duster on. The one sleeve's just drooped. The arm is still in Solomon's mouth. He goes, "It was rough, but it is over."
Suffered heavy losses.
We did.
But from the reports that I have gotten, it appears as though the destruction of our world is coming to an end. No more is dust gathering in the sky from the ground.
Good.
So there is that at least. That strange monster that appeared from the skyline has appeared to have retreated.
How did that pistol serve you?
It's a fine piece of weaponry.
Thank
I will
you.
say, you have my compliments for its construction.
Well, I need some help from you and some of your comrades.
You've given much to our people, as have other members of your group as well. Our services are yours, at least as much as we can muster, given the circumstances.
All I need is my arm repaired. Better, if you can, but repaired nonetheless.
I think many of us would like to lick our wounds, as it stands for now, but
Of
at the
course,
very least we can get into working order for you.
that's fine, as long as... Because I have other things that I must do after this mess has been cleaned up.
I understand. Well, come with us. When we arrive back, I'll have some of our engineers take a look at it for you and fix it.
Thank you.
And after that, I need a drink.
I am with you on that. And I'm going to follow along.
Okay. I actually need to look something up real quick.
I'm kind of like at this point, like laying on Solomon.
I gotcha. So, I will say this. Suddenly, Ophelia, you hear a voice in the middle of the crowd until this voice eventually reveals itself and says, "Well, it's good at least to see that you're alive and well, dear sister. Though it should have been you here with the cattle among the pack. Well, it was one with true and real talent that carried out the important job, but I'm glad to at least see that you're alive. As you notice, it is your brother Nefsire." Oh, I don't suppose you heard, but I'm one of the few Ganassi, or one of the few non-Ganassi who is accepted to the Primeval Academy. Which is only natural, considering my natural abilities. I don't suppose you ever received such an invitation, did you?
No. Good seeing you. It's not, Why are you here?
Oh, well, you see, I was, accompanying Miss Ayumi here, our leader. You know, the leader of the Primeval Academy, who handpicked me to be by her side during this expedition.
How glorious. You are ever so lucky, as you always have been.
What can I say? My abilities speak for themselves.
I look over at Ophelia. He's just jealous because you're not a hound dog to some person. That's like a whisper, trying to kind of not for him to hear it, but if he does, I'm just like, whatever.
Nope, still, honestly, like, where I am now is pretty much where Ophelia is, and we're like, plot twist? I wasn't prepared for this. I don't know what's happening. What? Huh? Yes. Alright, so, Ophelia at this point is... Alright, so... You caught me off guard, damn it. I'm gonna fuck her. Ha! I congratulate him for his much expected success.
Well, as I said, it was only natural considering
Of course.
my abilities.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now tell me, do you still have your own spells exploding in your face? I seem to recall that from your childhood. You never could seem to get it right.
Only not as much. I'm pretty successful in most of my endeavors. There's only a few, flashbacks and whatnot. But learning. Not perfect, as like you. It's fine.
Question: is anybody else standing near Ophelia?
I mean, I just said I whispered to her, so I guess I'm standing near her.
You're seeing me wig the
I'm
fuck
off with my own
out.
little posse, so
I am
Yeah,
wigging. I
think
am visibly
Aaron,
wigging the
Dorian-
fuck out.
I think Aaron, Dorian, and Shizuki all left to go rally with some troops, and then it's just Azrael, Phoenix, and Philia up on the cliff.
So
Phoenix,
Nefzire
back her up.
actually
Caw-caw.
addresses you, Phoenix, and says, "Oh, you must be one of her companions. I do hope that you're a bit more competent than her when it comes to combat, spellcraft, anything really. You see, she never really did inherit our family's natural ability, which is a shame, and it's not her fault. It really isn't. You shouldn't blame her for it. But it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. The name is Nefzire Abaddon.
And I am Phoenix Aaron. Philia has been somewhat holding her own in the little bit of time that we've been adventuring together.
Sure, only somewhat.
Alright, hold up. What the fuck is this guy's name? I have to put it in my Word document.
Nefzire. It's PH.
Nefzire. N-P-H?
N-E-P-H. Z-I-R-E. And then Abaddon. A-B-A-D-D-O-N.
Okay, Nefzire, Abaddon, kill later. Her
That guy meets.
Seems like a real
Jesus.
Zeus nodule.
Okay. Yeah.
Challenge him to a fight and show him how trash he really is. You know, stuff like that.
Velastros is gonna. Hey, wait, isn't this the guy that Ione referred to Velastros?
It is. I've been setting the stage for this for a while.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and she talked all like high smack about him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
Ooh, shit.
seems to be in. She seems to have a pretty high opinion of him.
Kill later, pretentious fuckboy. Okay, got it.
Now, also, Philia, I will have you know that I am well on my way to also being the first non-Ganassi to be the leader of the Primeval Academy. Can you believe it? They would choose somebody like me to be their leader? I mean, of course, it seems like a natural choice, but I am not even a Ganassi myself.
That is utterly astounding.
I don't think it should be too much of a surprise.
Well, because
I've
it's
been
so rare.
Quite a bit of time with Ayumi recently, as he gives you a bit of a wink.
Of course. Right. I bet you too much of a item, if you will.
Something.
Hmm.
We're trying to figure out the something.
Oh, well. Never knew a relationship has its bumps.
I whisper over to Ophelia. He's basically just telling you the only way he's getting into this is by he's fucking around with this girl. That's the only way. Not his actual talent. It's just him fucking around with this girl. Little fuckboy.
My brain is like, this motherfucker's fucking his way to the top. And my
Yeah.
other side of the brain's like, away!
Literally. Literally.
Run away. This is super fucking awkward. So it's
Anyway,
difficult for
Philia,
me
it was nice to see you. I suppose I might be able to lower myself, in a sense, later to share a drink, perhaps catch up. I'll be looking for you.
Oh, and I you.
Oh, by the way,
He won't be hard to find. He's the biggest ass in the crowd.
What?
he says to you, oh, by the way, mother and father are sick. I just suppose I should let you know. And then he walks away without saying another word.
Well, part of me is like, with what? The other part of me is like, good. Huh.
I look over to Ophelia. I'm like, I'm just like, so just putting the puzzles together, you and your family is not very, well, family.
No. Genetically, but not.
Understood.
I need a cigarette. Anybody have any hemp? It's not rotweed, Ziggy. My bad. Oh Lord. Not well. This is not. Why am I here? What? I need a drink. I find the nearest bar.
You haven't made it back to the city yet, but you're around
Fine.
plenty
That
of
is my
dwarves.
goal line. It is the nearest fucking bar
Has Dorian found Zerg yet?
or moonshine.
Yeah, he
distillery.
has.
Made some up.
Okay.
He has his halberd strapped to his back, and Zerg actually seems like he made out pretty well. He has a few scratches, and you notice he has like a tip of one of his horns broken off,
Sorry,
but
I did not mean to do that.
it'll grow back. He seems fine.
Zerg, if I may, moment of your time.
The Stormbringer. Yes, absolutely. I can always spare a time for Dorian Stormbringer. Tell me, how are you? You look well.
Dorian goes straight like somber stone, and he goes, Rowan survived.
That boy showed much more ability than he has before. He fought with more confidence than I've ever seen him fight with. It was rather astounding, I must say.
And how did your other two soldiers die?
Let's just say their heads are probably rather hollow right now. It was a bloody battle, Dorian. The bloodiest I've seen.
Zerg, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know you too well, but I like you. We fought side by side, in here in Sea Shroud, but don't take this as a victory in any way. In no way is this a victory. Just remember that.
I take this as nothing more than an opportunity to fight another day.
Keep Rowan close. He might prove himself further. Everybody thought he was an underdog. And he thinks that everybody else is supporting him. That's not good, Zerg. That's not good. He needs to have faith in his own equipment, his own self, and his own deity. I went back there and talked to him, and he threw nothing but praise at me. Told me I was the reason because of all of his actions today.
That boy, he's still young. He has much time to grow. I believe he's only 17 and just barely. I do not know how to fix it. I cannot fix someone's confidence. They have to define that for themselves. They have to find that with their god. All I can do is give him the support, the weapons, the training, and the worship that he needs to achieve success on his own. The rest is up to him.
Zerg, when we get back to Stormhaven, I'm gonna buy you around.
Very much looking forward to that.
Bring Rowan. I know he's young, but shit, the boy deserves a drink.
Couldn't agree more. And I could definitely use a few sips to
Sips?
quell the
You
images
mean
in my head.
You mean casks?
Well, yes. I need a
But-
Dorian too. I've seen far too much bloodshed. And you never get used to it.
Well, I mean, kinda. There's a point in time, I think, that when you get so used to it, it almost scares you. And Dorian gives like a 1,000-yard stare as he speaks.
But I don't think I'll ever get to the point where I'll be content watching my comrades die.
Oh no, that part hurts. But the killing, it's just.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I
Oh,
could kill 1,000,000 of these things with my own brain, or with my own blade, and sleep soundly the next night. These things are monsters. I've seen it myself. They deserve to be eliminated. They deserve to be annihilated. However, our men do not. And that is the part that will haunt me forever.
So I gave Rowan an axe. I want you. Let him have it. Don't take it from him. Let him use it. Let him put his faith into it. But teach him. And let him. I know he worships Pelor and the Dawnfather. Let him use it to funnel his courage. Less from like a shield. And more like. Well. An axe.
I will do so.
I know the lower
However-
initiates aren't supposed to have superior magical weapons, but I felt like it was needed.
To the battle that he's had to fight in, so early on in his time with the Brotherhood. I believe that's what he's earned, to say the least.
I agree with you. Do I see, like, have we come out of the cavern yet? Do I see my group up on the cliff?
Oh, you mean like have you guys finished marching back to the city? Yeah, I'd say right now you're probably finishing that. You're just kind of crusting above the surface and entering back into Gaiar.
Okay. I will hop back on Philip, and I will rejoin with Philia and Phoenix.
Okay.
Well, did y'all see anyone that you might have recognized or said hello to anybody in passing? I mean, I know I saw a couple friends I was ecstatic to see survived.
Well, I mean, we saw Philia's brother. He seemed like a real douche nozzle. I'm talking an asshole. But that's more to Philia. I don't know if how you feel about me calling your brother that, but I'm just speaking the truth.
So I would like to say, because Philia has a amulet of telepathy,
I've heard it.
my arcane eye would immediately redirected to following this douche nozzle. And I'm now just watching this dude like a motherfucking hawk. That's all my arcane eye sees. Everything he does, that's what I'm watching. If something happens 3 inches to his left or right, I fucking have no clue about it. I'm watching this dude.
Tunnel
Okay.
vision.
So,
Yeah.
one thing you would have seen is,
Oh, a sibling of mine.
as you were following him, he eventually makes his way back through the crowd. And when he gets to Ayumi Yuko's side, who is the leader of the Primeval Academy, and air ganassi, long green hair, kind of pale green skin, looks like she's probably in her early 20s. He sees her, grabs her, and gives her a big old kiss on the mouth as they continue walking.
Just French kissing, just pulled her in. The whole 9 yards.
I will say this. I will make sure I go ahead and memorize what him and Ayumi look like through the arcane eye.
So Ayumi, her hair seems to sort of be tied into a... It looks like she has a lot of hair, like she has long hair, but it's sort of tied into like a bun in the back. She's wearing sort of what looks to be like a white kimono with sort of red arcane sigils down it, and she carries what appears to be a fairly ornate, like redwood staff, with again sort of arcane encryptions on it. So if you recall, I based the air ganassi loosely on like Japanese culture. So, as far as him, he has long navy blue hair. His horns are very polished, and they sort of curve upward on his head, almost like ram's horns. He has very palish red skin to the point where it almost looks like a skin tone that a human could potentially have, but just a little bit more red added to it. But for the most part, almost just a human skin tone. As well as like bright yellow eyes and sort of a brownish tunic worn underneath just jet black robes. And he's carrying a wand. So I hope that painted a good enough picture.
Belia, I didn't know you had a brother. I thought you were a hermit out in the woods.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Now, if I don't remember correctly, I think Aaron promised that he was gonna buy us all around a beer when we got back. Like, you know, after we revived you and everything, he said something about paying for everybody's ale.
Yeah.
Isn't that right? And then
Yeah.
Dorian looked around. Oh, he's not here. Yeah, that was definitely him that said that.
You son of a bitch!
Whoops.
I got the first round, but the rest is on your ass.
Sweet.
Oh, Dorian doesn't have an amulet of telepathy anymore.
Oh, you took it off?
Oh, it's been off.
Yeah, he's had that off
Philia,
for a long
but Philia heard that.
I know you
Philia
own
heard
one,
that.
but
Philia heard that.
I did. I mean, yeah. I, oh good, I did attune to that, from that. No, I'm just making sure I unattuned to Amulet of the Drunkard, which I did. I don't think I ever was attuned to it.
Let's go back to these
Toss that
weirdos.
aside. I'm gonna toss that shit aside.
City in the mountain. Not like dwarves. They're weird. You know, they don't have the elegance. They don't have the craftsmanship. But I guess it's adequate, and their ale is okay.
well, you would know that while they do have their own, being in such close proximity to Stormhaven, they import dwarven ale all the time.
Like I said, their ale is okay, but
They're also the dwarves' closest allies as well.
They have some Stormhaven vintage ale that's to die for. They're still weird, and they suck at crafting things. They're not like dwarves.
I look over at him like, dang, are y'all supposed to be buddies or something?
Yeah, we are.
But you just like totally down them. Like you're just like, oh, they're not very good craftsmen. They're just like not this, not that. Like, come on, man.
By this point, King Rurik has reconvened with King Yord, and those two kings are walking with each other. It's a very close alliance between the Earth Ganassi and the dwarves.
I fucking forgot all about that guy. Yeah, I mean, oh man. So.
Well, I mean, I guess since y'all are so friend, y'all do a little ball busting between each other once in a while.
So here's something else I didn't tell you. King Rurik doesn't know that I know what he knows that he thinks I don't know. And then Dorian like winks with both eyes.
So glad I'm not a part of this conversation, so I don't have to try and keep up with it.
So you know information he knows, but he doesn't know that you know the information.
Correct. The
He
information I told y'all earlier.
He
about
doesn't
King
know that.
Rorik.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know that he knows. That he knows
doesn't
what he
know
knows.
He doesn't know that he's his son.
Well, I didn't hear Aaron.
Aaron went through telepathy. Tophelia.
Yeah. Like, okay. Does Felia
Hmm.
look like confused?
As fuck, yes.
Do you remember when I told you earlier about King Rorik
I was
and
blankly,
myself? You know,
blankly staring into space like, no?
the strongest, the Dwarven saying, the strongest bond is the bond of blood. Do you remember?
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he knows about me, but he doesn't know that I know. Wait, hold on.
Right?
He doesn't
Thus
know
my
that I know
confusion.
what I know. Let's just keep it
Okay.
at that.
Okay, he does not know that you know what you know.
Oh, damn
Got it.
I'll try to
Shaz.
simplify this as much as I can. King Rurik doesn't know that Dorian knows what Rurik knows that he knows.
Got it. As I'm like
Rorik
kind of
doesn't
confused, but I'm
know.
like now
Here,
putting the
I'll-
puzzle together.
I'll simplify it even more.
So if anybody
Rorik
needs to check
does
it
not
again,
know.
it is an hour and 40 minutes into the recording of this video. You can rewatch it again and be confused later on.
So,
Rorik does not know that Dorian knows that he is his son.
yeah, the secret between them
Yeah.
two.
Bam.
That's it. That's all it is. Rogue
There
doesn't
you
know
go.
that Dorian knows the secret. But himself.
Right.
Okay.
That's exactly what I said. He doesn't know that Dorian knows.
Okay.
Yeah,
he knows
now
he
you
knows.
can
yeah.
go away.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
We used less words this time. All right.
Well, I mean, you weren't supposed to say it out loud, but thanks.
I mean,
Oh, you still got
You
that
didn't-
amulet?
You didn't say don't say this out loud. We're just trying to mouth out
I
rando
figured
secrets in
that's
the air in the
what
middle of a bar.
That's what was implied.
No.
By this point, you guys have actually made your way to a bar.
Hey, Gavin, real quick, what is Rorik's wife's name?
Baby mama or not?
I don't think you really know that.
I mean, I would know.
What do you know?
She's the queen of Stormhaven.
Stormhaven doesn't have a queen right now.
Oh, there you go.
I'm stunned.
I'm like, all right.
Dorian's
Plot twist
heartbroken.
that motherfucker.
Stormhaven, sexist town. Don't need no queen. Don't have it. I'm just saying.
So, okay. Well, then I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quiet you.
So, okay. Let me get
You're
this.
rude.
Felia, let me explain a little bit. King Rorik, Prior Griffin, Grand Knight Duncan, and myself are the only ones that know of my bloodline lineage. But Rorik doesn't know that I know of my lineage. Does that simplify it? Do you understand? Follow me?
I think we got it.
yeah, we got it.
You get it?
No,
Yeah, I
I'm
got
talking to Felia.
Oh, right,
Well, I'm
right.
kind of there, so I'm kind of like listening to the conversations. I'm just like,
Is Azrael still standing there smiling?
You don't know where Azrael is.
Oh, okay. Thank God that dude creeps me out. Dorian actively
So,
looks for Azrael.
Azrael should be off to the side with me and Drolacek, and we're having a conversation amongst ourselves. If you want to play into that, we can, but I'm just saying.
I'll say this: you look, and you don't see Azrael either. You look harder, and you notice that he is being a good Samaritan, and he is helping a wounded young lady from the primeval consortium limp her way back to the city.
with the smile on his face.
Does Dorian see Azrael? He will be actively keeping an eye out for that dude because he is creepy as fuck.
Sure, Dorian sees him.
Yeah. Dorian's gonna whisper to Felia and Phoenix. Why is he always smiling? Just so creepy. It's just He just smiles all
So-
the time.
Has Aaron and the king found a place to drink?
Yes, by this point, granted, there's thousands upon thousands of troops, so many are just drinking in the streets, but you managed to find your way into... yeah, I mean...
It's just New Orleans. It's fine.
But you managed to actually find your way into an establishment that has a little bit of room for people, though it's still pretty crowded.
At this point,
it's
I'm
just-
literally buying
It's just
me
a
and
cave in the inside, like, of the mountain wall that has been kind of turned into a makeshift tavern.
yeah, I'm just buying me and him drinks after drinks until he can't drink anymore.
Okay. You're for the king?
Yep, me and him. I'm literally paying for only me and his drinks, and I'm literally buying both of us. Like, we are going drink for fucking drink.
After about 30 minutes, he's like, this ale is some strong stuff. This dwarven ale.
Are you alright there?
Yeah, I'll take another one.
Alright. 2 more over here.
As Earth Ganassi, the male individual wearing a... Well, actually, they don't wear a whole lot. So yeah, this individual is shirtless. Just brings you a couple more mugs.
I flip him a platinum and continue to drink.
Alright. He is very ecstatic at the platinum that he just got. Delete it from your inventory.
Alright.
He's like biting it just to make sure it's real and just like.
Oh, dude, you gotta think, Aaron tips with platinum. What are you talking about? That's the only thing he has on his person. Aaron doesn't have gold.
Like he's like very inspecting that thing. Like,
Typically,
is this
platinum
even real?
is just used for banking purposes. When you have so much currency that you want to reduce the volume of the amount of currency you have to transport or carry.
And at this
So-
point, Aaron just keeps platinum.
So, I want to gather the group in an inn and get a booth that we could all sit at, so we can all have a round.
You've got a stone table and some rocks to sit on.
Does Aaron see them?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He motions them over that he already has the table. Come on!
Aaron, you
I will
are
join.
eating your mic again. If you could pull that away just a touch.
I will
Aaron's just
join.
be like, come on guys, over here.
Much better, dude. Much better.
Where's Shaz?
Chaz is with the same group that you've seen. If you want to flag me down, you can find me pretty easily, I would imagine.
I
Aim
don't
with
have an amulet.
telepathy. Aim with telepathy. Hey Shaz! We're over in the rock tavern thing. Come join us.
I will tell Azrael, who I know is fucking super creepy and out the rest of the group here, and Drolachek, like, I'll meet up with you guys later. Do not follow me. Meet you later. Okay, bye.
Azrael says, yeah, of course. And you hear him continue to go back. I'm so sorry for your losses. If you just need a shoulder to cry on, I'm here.
God, he is that creepy fucking stalker
By the
dude.
way, I assume I know what he's doing, right?
Yeah, you would assume.
Okay, yeah. I will tell Drolachek to, like, go milk his cow spider off to the side, and Gibbles, I will ride dauntingly to whatever tavern we have where I can tie him up to the thing with the rest of the horses.
When
and
you're
tell him,
riding him, people clear the fuck out of your way.
I will just assume that it's because they're so intimidated by how amazing I look in my emerald green dress.
Or maybe it's the raptor with blood
No,
dripping
I am
from his chin.
assuming it is because I look too good for them to even be in my presence. I mean, that's what it has to be.
It's because he looks like a little princess, so they have to clear the way.
Fuck yeah!
That's right.
And also, as I enter the tavern, Cloak of Billowing is activated, of course.
I thought you already
And you
activated
cast
that thing
minor
like a
illusion.
while
It
ago.
only works
And
for
you
a
cast-
minute, so I have to constantly react.
Would you like to channel your cloak of billowing?
Fuck yeah, I want to channel my Cloak of Billowing! I've never wanted to channel anything more in my life!
Oh my god.
I'm literally just gonna like put my mug to my head, slam it back, set it down, another round of the table.
Until I say otherwise, my Cloak of Billowing always motherfucking active.
You got
Please. No, hand us. I need 2 more rounds at the table.
Make
Please.
it 3. Make it 3.
I will sit down at the table and still have a billowing cloak.
Oh my
And Aaron has 2 drinks. He's holding them with one hand, drinking
Aaron-
out of one as it pours into the other, so he continuously drinks.
And Aaron, rather annoyingly, you keep getting smacked in the face with a cloak.
All right. Look,
It's like when you're standing behind somebody that's wearing like a trench coat in like gale force wind.
I want to
Yeah,
wave down. I want to wave down the bartender.
You do it. This particular one, female, walks over.
All right.
I flip her a platinum.
Yeah, sorry, what can I get you? Gotta keep moving.
I
All
flip her a platinum. Bink! Now you can stay.
Look,
Not
stop.
a stripper.
Listen to me. I know you have the dwarven ale, but I want you to go behind the counter and get me the strong stuff. Give me the dwarven spirits. And a whole round of them for the table.
So a cask of a dwarven premium. You got it.
And they're all on this
need
guy's tab.
I need a
No, they're on the dwarves tab.
I also need a chaser, something much weaker to follow that up with. If you could get me 3, or a pitcher, whatever it is, 3,
Grandma vodka.
yeah, 3 of your weakest ale. What is it? Oh, God damn, what does your amulet take? Yeah, amulet drunkenness. What does that take?
What do you mean? It takes
She has
like
to
a
drink something.
full. I think it takes a pint.
Yeah, 3 pints. 3 pints of your weakest piss water as a chaser. Everything
Sure,
else follow
you
up with
got
his order. Yeah, I got you.
Ooh, shit, what did I just press? I have no idea what that was.
Just, we need the strongest shit you got and the weakest shit you got. Just bring it all to the table. Here, I'm gonna pull out like 5 platinum, hand it to her, hand her another platinum, and go.
Away, and then you're like, oh man, but that's a tasty mic. I gotta knock on it.
It
I gotta
moves.
put it back. Like you fix your mic and it sounds great, and then you're just like,
But hey guys,
I'm like,
so,
Yeah,
just
it
bring
sounds
us.
like you're deep throating your mic.
yeah,
Bring
you
a-
go from great to just sounding like, my god, dude, it's not a Dorito. Don't eat your fucking mic.
Bring us 4 kegs of your strongest, 4 kegs of your weakest. Here's the 5 platinum. Here's a platinum for yourself. Thank you and have a nice day. And I would just kind of like wave my hand for her to go.
By the way, Ophelia, if you'll check your DMs.
All right.
Over there.
Yes, yes, Gavin. I will deduct the minuscule 6
Yeah.
platinum from my inventory.
So, I know we're celebrating whatever here, and we're drinking, but don't get too drunk. We have to go talk to the kings. I've already talked to Duncan, and I've talked to King Rorik. And I see the Gnome King is over there underneath the bar, so we might want to grab him too.
He'll be all right.
Now we're taking him too.
I'm gonna put my hand on him and I'm going to cast what am I gonna cast? I'm gonna cast it on him and myself. Actions. Hold on. I have the spell. Lesser restoration on me and him.
So real quick, because Kelly has to go at 10, there was actually something I wanted to knock out that involves her. But this is going to be a special request here. Sean, is there any way for you to pause the recording?
Oh yeah, that's no problem.
Alright.
So
I will mute my mic then.
So I'd actually rather you guys jump into a different channel. And Sean, if you could walk out of the room, please.
Oh my god, I had to do this back when she was fucking with Wilhelm. My god. All right. Okay, so stay.
Are
in
y'all
this-
two gonna?
Here's
Yeah, we're
the
gonna stay
thing.
here.
So here's how this is gonna play out. Just so you know, I'm gonna have to take off my headset, and so I can't hear what you guys are saying. But I will just record everything that's going on. But I need you guys to stay in this channel where you see Shiziki in the voice chat. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to record any of the audio that you guys say. So I'll take off my headset so I, Sean, don't hear anything. But Shiziki in the Discord has to be able to hear it to record it.
Well, that's why I said to pause the recording. I actually don't want this on a recording.
Do you want me to... I can record it and not watch it. And I'll just literally
If
file
you
it away.
swear not to watch it,
I
that's
promise.
fine.
Swear, promise, whatever. I don't ever try and cheat cop out.
Dude, I rather watch the freaking recordings anyways.
Well, I wouldn't
watch
even
every
post this so you'd be able to watch it. It would literally be on my computer until Gavin tells me to post it, and we have a couple of recordings like
I
that.
want the rest of the stream to be posted. I just don't want this one little section to be
Okay.
posted. Is there any way you can do that?
Tell Kelly when you want me to cue everything back up. But yeah, I'm going to kill the recording right now. So 3, 2, 1.